Welcome to Daily Conversation. This is Mr. K.
This is Eric.
Yeah, today is the 28th of September 2021, and the time now is 6:19 a.m. Well, today our topic is why do we dream? All right, so before we get started, please click the like button and subscribe to our YouTube channel. All right, so here we go. Yeah, so today we talk about a dream, and then actually before this conversation, I go and watch the video uh, from Lao Gao, which is about the topic dream, and then I found that actually in that video there is a few interesting points, and then yeah, even though it is something make for entertainment, but I think it is still interesting. And firstly, I think for the reason of why we dream, yeah, one of the points which I think um, uh, it it could be something like we want to experience something, and then uh, for any purpose. For example, you just want to have some experience. That is something like desire, and it can also be something like you want to experience it because uh, you can you can have a rehearsal of something. Yeah, so that in the reality, when you really face it, and your brain had some experience what to do, and uh, you won't be so anxious or something like not knowing what to do. And also, I think the real reason of why we dream is still something uh, uh, haven't been proven. And I think they they are another reason which our brain keep working, keep functioning uh, when we are awake, and then when we go to sleep, when we're in the sleep, and then they're still working. So they keep functioning 24 hours a day. And yeah, so I think maybe the reason of dreaming is just a byproduct when our brain is working, when our brain is functioning, when our brain is sorting information. And then yeah, we more or less will have some feeling or thinking, and then that is why we have to dream. Yeah, I didn't have a a real reason for dreaming, and also I think for the scientists and everybody, we don't really have a, an answer, a real answer for this question. Yep, and then mm, yeah, and after that, there are something that I pick out, some points I pick out from the videos of Lao Gao, and then yeah, maybe we can discuss a little bit. And one thing is very interesting, which is the sleep paralysis, 鬼压床. And then because this is an old topic, right, Eric? The why do we dream? It is not the new one. We had this topic last year, right? If I didn't get it wrong, last year or early this year. And then uh, I remember that previously I have never had any experience of sleep paralysis. I hear people did that. I hear people that they had some experience, and then um, for me, I have never had one. And then uh, it seems like after the first conversation we have, why do we dream, and we talk about sleep paralysis, and I started to have sleep paralysis, and until now I have three times uh, of these kind of experiences, and there are two. There are two which is similar, and the other one is kind of special. Uh, so I think I share a little bit for sleep paralysis of myself. And the and the first experience, uh, um, it is a night, and then uh, I suddenly wake up, and then yeah, but I still sleep on the bed. Just my conscious wake up, and then uh, I feel like I couldn't move, and then at that time actually nothing happened. Just I couldn't move, and I couldn't feel anybody touch me or what. I didn't see anything, and actually I didn't dare to open my eyes, and then it's quiet, yeah, nothing. And then what I do is because I was so afraid at that time, and in my mind I keep praying, yeah, I keep praying, and then hope that this will go soon. And yeah, after that, after I think is like 1 or 2 minutes, I started to feel like I can move my hand a little bit, and yeah, everything just gone, and I sweat a lot, yeah, and then um, I even couldn't sleep for like 10 and 15 minutes because I was too afraid. Yeah, so that was my first experience, and uh, it's also quite interesting because after I tried to know about what is sleep paralysis, after I have discussed about this, and so to me it seems like uh, it is something maybe more or less uh, um, uh, like any other dream, because if you have imagined something before, then you know how to dream it. But if you don't even have the imagination of what it is and how it feel, maybe I just didn't think into that perspective, and that's the reason why for so many years, for more than 20 years, I have never had sleep paralysis. And just only after we had the conversation, and after a few months, and I have the first sleep paralysis experience. Yeah, and for the second time is um, it's also quite similar. Yeah, but to me, I wasn't so afraid. Maybe I had one experience before it, and actually that time I was quite clear the reason why I have sleep paralysis, because I found that my head uh, wasn't put in a proper uh, proper situation, which is my head wasn't fully on the pillow. It is half on the pillow and half just in the air, something like that. So I can feel like my neck is uh, kind of numb because I didn't put my head well on the bed, on the pillow. So, and at that time I also couldn't move uh, for like 30 seconds. And but nothing after that. And then I started to be able to move my body. I tried to uh, move myself up a little bit so that I can sleep on the pillow. And yeah, that is the second experience, and that is shorter. And I wasn't so afraid because I kind of being able to find a reason of why I couldn't move. And uh, the the last experience, which is quite strange. I don't know whether that could be a sleep paralysis, and the I think that is in a dream. Is it in a dream? But I thought it is real, and then I uh, in the dream I wanted to switch on the light. Yeah, I want to press the button of the light, and then it is on the wall, right? And then I feel like when my hand is about to touch the switch, and suddenly I couldn't move. Yeah, I stopped there, and then I can feel my body couldn't move. The whole body couldn't move, just like the sleep paralysis. And I thought it was real, and then actually I was dreaming. Yeah, and it lasts for I think 30 seconds or 1 minute before I wake up, and I found that that was a dream. Yeah, so these are some of my experiences of sleep paralysis. And yeah, go to the next point in the Laogao videos. It says that yeah, it is also a good way to record down our dream. Yeah, what we dream the last night, record down, and then also most of the time we forget our dream. Maybe after a few seconds we wake up. Yeah, for example, maybe we just wake up uh, uh, after we have a dream, and then we remember it for something like uh, 10 or 20 seconds, and then if we go back and sleep again, we definitely would forget it, uh, or I say we mostly will forget it. So recording down the dream, yeah, I think is something like giving us the memory. It is quite a good way because also mentioned in the video, uh, the scientists found that the feeling in our dream is actually real, just as real as what we experience in the real life. For example, if you dream of standing on a high building and jump down or fell down, the feeling is actually the same as the reality. If we stand on a high building, we feel scared, and then all the feeling is real, not only the maybe the a few of the senses. And uh, Lao Gao also mentions that with the technology nowadays, let's say the VR, um, that's only for maybe our hearing and sight vision senses. Yeah, and then in our dream actually is more real than the VR because all of the senses is real, just as real as the reality. Yep. So maybe recording down is a way uh, to keep what we have dreamed, to keep that experience. Otherwise, forgetting your dream is equal to you just don't have the experience. You didn't experience it. And then the next point is um, for me, I actually know that sometimes I know I was dreaming. I was in a dream. I know it, and especially when something uh, when the situation is very, let's say, dangerous or hopeless, and I suddenly remind myself, maybe this is a dream, and uh, every time when I tell myself maybe this is a dream, and I was about to wake up, yeah, I was about to wake up, and it seems like it is a way to wake up from my dream. Yeah, and um, yeah, the next one is about controlling your dream. Yeah, for this one, I think maybe more or less I can control a little bit. But I think for myself, I don't know why in my dream I couldn't stay long in the dream. Yeah, for example, if I have a dream, I use a knife, wanted to stab people, wanted to kill people. Actually, in my mind, I want to experience it because it is something so so impossible for me to do it in the reality. So, but in the dream also, I I always wake up. Yeah, if there is some dreams which is very different from the reality, or when in the dream I was doing something like which is risky, and then yeah, I will also wake up. Yeah, so I also feel annoyed because I wanted to stay longer in the dream for that kind of experience, but I couldn't. Yeah, and also I heard that I remember that you told me uh, one of your friend, right, uh, have read about some books which regarding to dreams and also regarding to how to control what can we do to control a dream. Yep, and then and lastly, that was some of my thinking for this topic, which just now I also mentioned. Recording down our dream is a good thing to do because in our dream the feelings are so real. If you can record down, that is the only way to keep your good experience. Otherwise, everything will just disappear. And so again, for this, it remind us that uh, remembering our personal stories is very important. Yeah, if we didn't remember, it is just like a dream. It will just disappear, and without memory, it is just nothing. Yeah. So these are my sharing today.
So one of the thing about the the feeling in the dream, the emotion we experience in the dream, and also the task you do it in the dream.
Yeah.
Mm, if you if you have done if you have done a similar task before, then you will get the feeling, get to the emotion, get to the feelings, same as or similar to the reality. So that's mean
Mm,
if you duplicate the same task, the similar task in reality, you probably will feel the same.
mm,
But but if you have but if you have uh uh but if you haven't did that, yeah, if you haven't uh do the task before, you haven't experienced the task before, and the feeling and the emotion that you experience in the dream, it just come from your imagination.
mm,
You get what I mean? So for example, you didn't step you didn't stab other people uh by using the knife in
yeah.
reality. So uh the real feeling may different from something that you experience in the dream.
Mm,
Maybe
yep.
in reality, when you step inside, and then when you pull out the your knife, the blood will suddenly uh how to say, the flesh to your face or something
Mm,
like that,
yeah.
and you can smell the blood.
Mm,
Yeah, and you can see the uh the suffering face from other people, and they may scream, they may like something like want to catch you, they want to uh die together. Yeah,
mm,
you they
yeah.
want also want to kill you, and uh this kind of feeling can't really uh duplicate in a dream, can't really like experience the dream if you don't have the similar experience. Yeah.
Mm,
So let's say another example. Uh, mm, yeah. So for example, let's say uh, you want to suicide from jumping a very high building, and this is something that we always experience in the dream, right? And
yeah.
sometimes we will dream that we fall from a very high uh, high platforms, yeah, and then we almost wake up.
Mm,
Sometimes we just wake up. Hmm.
yeah.
And but is the feeling really the same, or actually we just based on our experience? Maybe we also will fall down. We also will fall down. Uh, but but is it similar to falling down from jumping down from a very high building? It could be different.
Yeah.
Mm. And I'm not sure whether other people is like this. But for me, the feeling that I experience in the dream that I'm falling from a high building is actually same as I fall down. I fall down at the floor. Yeah, maybe maybe I step the banana skins and then I fall down. The feeling is very similar to that. Yeah. Or I walk on a very wet floor and then I fall down. Yeah, the feeling is very similar to that. So I wonder whether jumping jumping from a very high building or actually you're falling down from a very high place is actually the same feeling. I think not. So this is some example to explain. If we didn't do the task in reality before, we couldn't really experience, couldn't really like feel the emotion in a dream, which is same as you do the task in reality.
Yeah. Yeah, agree.
So
And yeah.
and another example, have you dreamed that you you drive a flight, you drive an airplane before?
No.
No. Yeah, actually I have, but how do I control the flight on the airplane?
Yeah.
You know how? Using a steering.
Just like a car.
Yeah, it's something like that. And then I sit like I was in the car. So it's very weird. And I miss if you look at this from reality, it's very weird. And the real feeling definitely is different from reality.
Yeah.
The emotion. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that maybe the how to say, the scene or the plot will will not be the same as the reality, but the feeling of our body, I mean, because we truly believe it, and our brain and all the senses, they actually uh, um, just function as it happened in the reality. Right.
But have you experienced that before?
Um,
For example, have you hit by the polar bear before?
no.
Then how can you know the feeling?
Okay, I know that the reality maybe it wasn't like that, but what I want to say is just we will react truly to what happened in the dream. For example, just now you dream of driving a plane, right? And then there is a Stalin in the in the plan, and then yeah, but at that time you feel the real one, right? You hold the Stalin, everything. Yeah, the real story in the reality might be different. They won't have a Stalin, but we just feel according to what we dream, and then I also agree with you that for example, we haven't jumped down so high from a building. So the feeling we may use from other experiences, for example, for me, because I went to some theme park before, so we have some outdoor games, right? And maybe there are some roller coaster or what. And I think in my dream, the feeling is just like the roller coaster. Uh, yeah, it will gather experiences from different places and uh, make it something like real in the dream, but
Yeah,
it is not the same as the reality.
yeah.
But what I think important is the feeling, just the feeling. Let's say for the VR technology, that is also not the real one, right? that is also we react according to what we see in the video.
No, maybe it's the they give you the scenes, they give you the smell, they give you the touch, the feeling. So it really like replicate the reality. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
So for example, when you're using a VR technology, you try to drive a plane, but you couldn't drive. Yeah, because in VR you need to touch, you need to press a certain set of buttons. You can start the plane, but if you don't have any experience, you couldn't do in a VR.
Right.
But in the dream you can do that. And you even don't need you even don't need the board. Yeah. You don't need the dashboard. You just need a steering.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know why sometimes I have the dream, just mentioned in the Laogao videos, which I was driving a car, I couldn't touch the accelerator and the brakes. Yeah, I just can control the steering, but the speed I couldn't control.
Yeah. And do you really can control the steering, or do you really can control the do you really feel your leg is actually stepping on the acceleration or stepping on the brake? Actually, most of the time it's something like we dream that we are in a car, we are driving a car, but it's just because what we see is like we are in a car and then the car is moving, so we think that we are driving a car, but actually we didn't use our steering to control the car, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, the feeling is real to you, but it actually is still based on your imagination. And if some people say that they want to use their dream to kind of like achieve some effectiveness and experience the real life by using the dream, like that, and I wouldn't think it's possible. Yeah, and this is just something like you are in the knee jerk. Yeah, in the knee jerk as experience machines. Yeah. So you just live in your world. And actually the world the world inside the world, what you experience is not the real one. It's a fake one. Yeah. So in terms of the experience, yeah, it actually really can give you the real feeling based on your imagination. Yeah. But the sense and the reality may not be the same. Yeah. So this is something that I want to point out, which is if you trying to use a dream to replicate something in the reality which you did have an experience before, and you couldn't experience the real things. This is something that you need to know. If you want to get the feeling, maybe you can. But just like the example, that using a knife stab other people stomach, and but you just can feel what's inside you. For example, you're using a knife stab other people, and it actually largely affect what you see, what you hear, maybe in the movie, in the drama of from other people, or the story that you read in the day, or maybe few days ago, or even like few years ago. It's just based on your experience. Maybe the story that you read is like a cold killer. So he chased the person into a corner, and the victim had no way to
Escape.
go away. And then the cold killer use a snap, slowly snap inside the victim's stomach, and the stomach, and because the cold killer is so strong, and the victim have no way to run, and also have no way to fight with the cold killer, and he can only see the knife slowly step inside his stomach. Yeah. And yeah, so this is a horrible story. But what you feel as a cold killer, right? Yeah, so it's different. It's different from you stab person in reality. This is just based on your experience.
Right.
Yeah. And if you ask me, why human need dreams? Yeah, why do we dream? And one of one of one of the explanation is it may not proven by scientists, but what the scientists found that human actually need a dream. Yeah, and also like I'm not sure other animals, but for human need a dream. And for some people who are in depressions, experience depressions, they actually, some of them don't have a dream. Yeah, so they kind of like find the correlations. Yeah, the normal humans, if you are normal people, you would dream, and those persons depressed people, they can't dream. Yeah. And one of the reason is when we are in a dream, we actually are processing the data, the information that we hear, that we read, that we see in the day or maybe a few days ago.
Yeah.
And yes, just like what I say, some of the experts say that we cannot without a dream. And because it process the data, it process the information, and it also release our deep emotion, our deep feeling, our deep thought. Now, for example, let's say you get scored by one of the parents, and then yeah, you feel a little bit depressed, and then and then after you leave the parents' home, and then you go back to your home, you didn't tell anyone, you become you become quiet, and during the during the dinner times, and also after dinner, and then you just want to stay alone. Yeah, you just do your own thing. Uh you don't have the mood to talk to other people. Yeah. And um but you you think it actually is quite normal, because the parents don't understand something, and maybe the parents is still uh experience something bad, and so she's angry at that times. Yeah, and you think, yeah, it's okay, it's not a big deal. Mm. and and you you start preparing your uh the syllabus, the material for the students, and then you work, and then after uh and then when it's time to sleep, and then you sleep. But in a dream, you actually experience something really bad. For example, you dream that the parents scold you, and you feel horrible, you even cry. Yeah, you even like couldn't stand. Yeah. And or maybe you fight back with them, and then yeah, something like that. So actually, mm, it could be the deep feeling, the deep emotion. Yeah. So this is something that I want
Release
to
the
yeah
emotion.
say. Yeah, you release the emotion. Yeah.
Yeah.
uh Maybe as a rational guys, and we won't feel that, and also because we have trends, so we have a lot of experience to deal with a similar task. And this just exists in our subconscious. So in our conscious, or maybe you can say in our surface layer of subconscious, we don't feel that, we really don't feel that. Yeah, we just think we need we just do our own thing, and
Yeah.
everything will get better. And but how about your really deep subconscious? This is something that you don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
this is something that I want to mention, which is release the emotion, the feeling, the thoughts you have in the very, very deep subconscious. Yeah.
Yeah.
And another example is I don't know other people, but for me, many times after I watch the horrible movie or I watch a very uh brain burning movie or drama,
Mm.
yeah, and when it's night and when I fall asleep and I most of the time would dream the scenes, yeah, the
Mm.
scene that they in the drama, they in the movie, but it's a little bit different, yeah, a little bit different, yeah.
Mm.
So it's not follow it's not follow the drama, but it's something like the extensions. Mm,
Mm.
yeah,
And you dream of yourself, right? In the
yeah,
drama, it's you, right?
yeah. Sometimes is I dream myself. Sometimes is yeah, I just dream the characters. I just
Oh.
dream the character doing the things, but in a different way.
Mm.
Mm. Yeah, or maybe they are doing the same things, but it's something like there's a lot of there's a lot of sharding. What is it called? So there's a lot of small piece, yeah,
Mm.
small separate scenes.
Oh,
Mm,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. So it's also one of the example that can support the argument, which is it release the emotion, release the feeling, releases thought. Yeah. And yeah, when you are watching a horrible drama, a burning drama, you actually don't feel that because you know it's just a drama. Yeah.
Mm.
But when you're in a dream, it seems like you really put yourself into the drama. You become the characters, or even you just see. Maybe it's you are one of the person uh, inside them. Yeah, you also experience the similar things. You also
Mm.
you also in the situation. Yeah, but when you are watching the drama, the movie in reality, you couldn't like put yourself in into the situation. This is just a
Yeah.
drama. Mm.
Yeah.
But when it comes to dreams, it become different. Mm.
Mm.
So uh so you kind of like release your emotion, release your deep feeling, the deep thought. Mm.
Mm.
Yeah. Okay, so that's all thing I want to share for today.
Mm. Yeah, I think for the emotion part also, uh, it's very convincing, and I think I totally agree with it. And also I remember that I have dreamed of a few times when I was I already 20 something, but sometimes I dream of I was in the exam, and then something like I didn't know how to uh
Answer the
how
question.
yeah, yeah. Just the feeling of anxious in the exam, and also sometimes I dream of not uh, forget to bring the books to the school, and I was in the classroom. I was so afraid, and the teacher haven't discovered I didn't bring the book, and
Mm.
yeah, those kind of negative emotions. Sometimes I dream of it even after there have been many years since I was in the school.
Mm. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
so I
also
think
have the similar experience. Mm.
mm,
I
also
dream
it's
that
exam.
yeah, it's the exam one. Yeah, and uh, but in the dream I couldn't believe. Yeah, uh what I dream is actually I forget the exam time. I forget the exam date, and
Mm,
now is now is the exam, and I haven't prepared it.
mm.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So if we think back, those really can be a way re to release the emotion, right?
Mm,
Mm,
yeah. And maybe it's because when you feel struggling at your career, maybe uh in the uh in the in the daytimes,
mm,
and so it actually actually trigger the deep emotions inside you. Yeah. So at night you dream that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think you make a point here, which is we have uh some bodies say that if you dream of something and then that could be explained as something, right? You can also check like if you dream of a crocodile, and you can Google dream of crocodile, and that could means of maybe you find some threat in your reality or something. Uh, I think uh, there are kind of explanation of
Yeah.
dream.
But I don't believe that, because let's say if you really want to dream a crocodile,
Mm,
and in the daytime you just keep watching the crocodile video,
yeah.
the crocodile picture, and you keep doing this maybe a few weeks or a few days, maybe it just take
Mm,
few days, and you definitely can dream the crocodile.
mm, yeah. I also
Yeah.
I also don't fully believe, but I think maybe more or less they collect something like a big data. So sometimes it can be referred, but we shouldn't believe anything in the dream, I think.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah, you can believe the good thing, but you shouldn't believe the bad thing.
Mm,
Mm.
yeah.
Yeah. This is something like the placebo and nocebo effect. And
Mm,
since you talk about the exams, uh, I remember something that sometimes I study no matter in the library or no matter at home
yeah.
when I was still students, and sometimes I lay on the bed and I study and then I fall asleep, and this is something like just a nap,
Mm,
and maybe half an hour or maybe sometimes 1 hour or 45 minutes.
yeah.
So it's not that long. Uh, but but uh, when I'm having the nap, I can still I can still uh like plot out the formula that I studied just now.
Mm,
So yeah, but of course the formula that I plot out, the theory that I plot out is actually uh totally incorrect. Yeah,
oh,
totally different from the real theory. Yeah. So I just for example, let's say okay, let's say the one of the formula I seen, for example, let's say 2a equal 3b plus 4c.
mm,
Then and you may not remember the full formula. You may remember, yeah, there's a equal b equal c or something like that. Yeah.
mm,
So yeah, it actually can support what I mentioned just now. It processes the data, it processes the information. And
mm,
also what we know is actually dream is good for the long-term memory, right? Uh,
yeah, yeah, because they
I'm
are
not sure.
sorting information, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure it's dream or the sleep, uh, but the sleep good for memory is it something proven already? For example, you study before you sleep, and
Mm.
then after you wake up, you quickly do a revision. It can actually uh, improve uh, improve the charge, make it more easily to become long-term memory.
Um, yeah, I'm not sure for this one.
Mm,
Mm.
yeah.
But I think there are quite a lot of research shows that uh, not having enough sleep or what can make us perform worse in the reality.
Yeah.
Mm.
Uh, but,
Also
but uh,
in
yeah.
studying or memorizing.
Mm. But I think the opposite explanation couldn't falsify, couldn't even justify uh the 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 uh the positive effect. So I mean the negative side couldn't justify the positive side.
Mm.
Yeah. For example, let's say uh for example uh you don't eat, you will uh Okay, let's say you don't drink the water, and you experience some very bad things. But doesn't mean that you drink the water you can experience the opposite things.
Mm.
Mm.
Yeah.
So, and for example, when you're not doing something, and you will not get the things, but doesn't mean that you do something and you definitely will get the things. So
Mm.
it's something like the logic. So you couldn't use the negative one to justify the positive one.
Yeah.
So yeah. So for example, like the same logic, but if I use the same logic to form a sentence, you'll find really really weird. For example, uh, I go to school. So I learn something. So school relate to the learning. But does it mean that if I didn't go to school, I couldn't learn anything?
Mm.
So you couldn't use the one side to justify the another side. This is the logic.
Mm.
One of
Yeah.
the one of the concept in 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 a logic subject. Mm.
Mm. Yeah. How about one topic we came across recently, which is something like uh, if we if we are sick and then we are unhealthy, but if we are unsick, it doesn't mean that we are healthy, right?
Yeah, yeah. This is also one of the very very good example. Mm. Okay,
Yeah.
so do you have anything want to add in?
No.
Okay, so that's all for our today conversations. How do you feel? Did you enjoy the conversations? Please tell us what you think about conversation. And we are not native speakers. If you found any vocabulary mistake that we make, please also comment to let us know, because we want to learn more and improve ourselves. Remember to like and subscribe to us. Thanks for watching. See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.